Good morning, children. How are you all? This is Sridevi from Thala Padmavati International School, Warangal. Today I am back with a new topic from civics from grade 8. So before knowing about the topic, let us discuss what you are seeing on the screen. You can see the school children, like you all people who comes to school in full uniform, and you got the rules, a particular time to come to school and a particular time to go to home, and there's a particular period of time also for every subject. It's a systematic way of your student life where you need to follow some rules and regulations. If you come as usual, like in a civil dress or else cultural costume, you are not being allowed to the school. Why? Because it is a rule of the school where children are being given some restrictions to come to school in a uniform, where there will not be any difference in between the children, and you being a student needs to follow, which gives you a bright future. Even here also you can see, when you get into the bus also, you follow some rules like following a queue system within a time period. Everything, it goes on with a particular rule and a regulation. In the same way, when we talk about a game like cricket or football, the people cannot play as they like. It is a football. You can see on the screen, football is supposed to play with the foot. If you hold it with your hand and throw with your hand, it goes foul and you will be out of the game. So it is a rule of a game to be played in such a way. In the same way, cricket also, if a bowler throws a ball out of the line, it goes with a no ball. Something like which are restricted for every game or for every school restricted life, anything it may be. There are particular rules and regulations in every step of your life. You can see in the next image where children are playing the football. So if suppose such things happen, if you break the rules, you are not supposed to be allowed to play that game. So I hope you people are trying to understand what I am going to speak about. Yes, of course, children, this is the topic about our Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution is the supreme law of a country, our India. So when we are following such restricted rules and regulations in games, in our life, in our school, then what about our country? It is a matter of some lakhs of people who are living in the country who needs to follow some rules and regulations in every step of life, where they are given equal status, liberty, equality, fraternity, all sort of rights for their existence. So, yes children, today we are going to talk about the Indian Constitution from your class, that is grade 8. It is a document which describes the right and duty of its citizen and the way in which it is governed. The Indian Constitution is the longest in the world. It took around 2 years, 11 months and 17 days for the assembly to finish writing the entire constitution, and that took handwritten. You know, our Indian Constitution is written by hand, and it is the longest and the lengthiest constitution compared to the world other countries' constitution. The preamble can refer, it is nothing but the first page which you can see on the image. It refers to the preface which highlights the entire constitution. It gives the clear information what powers the government has over the citizens, as well as the rights and duties of the citizens towards the country, and many more. And the main person whom is called as the architect of the Indian Constitution was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was the person who took the responsibility, who was given the responsibility to take over for the construction and the formation of our Indian Constitution. He is the first independent India's law minister. The Indian Constitution is unique in its feature. Also, many of its features have been borrowed from various other countries like United States of America, France, Australia, Ireland, Japan, Canada, etc. So many people have gone through to different areas. Around 300 members were the responsible persons to frame out this constitution of our country. And do you know that the Indian constitution is the world's longest, as I told you, and a sovereign nation, as it touches every aspect of the life of every individual citizen. Since the formation of the Constitution on 6th November 1946, about 100 amendments have been made. You know, children, 100 amendments, like 100 changes were being taken place in our Indian Constitution. And this means the changes which took place in the Constitution were based on the living conditions, based on the situations. It was a flexible, it was not that rigid to make it fix for a particular rule. Though India became a free nation on August 15, 1947, it declared itself a sovereign, democratic and republic state with the adoption of the Constitution on January 26, 1950, where we celebrate our Republic Day. And that is the reason why we celebrate India's Republic Day on every year, 26th Jan. And the Constitution of India guarantees certain basic rights that are essential to the well-being of every citizen. These are known as the fundamental rights. And as you all know that, what is a constitution? What does it study? Why do we need a constitution? What is the need of framing the constitution or requirement of a constitution? As I told you just now, too many such reasons are there which are related to the constitution. Like we discussed about the school uniform, which was a rule. We discussed about the rules and regulations of a football game or a cricket game. So many such, where in games or else in a life or else in a family, when we are following such rules to have a disciplined and a peaceful existence, even the country also needs the same way which we have to follow for a better and the best future for every individual citizen. Each and every citizen got right to live according to their choice. So this is one best thing where a constitution is needed for a country to make it successful in every individual's life, to be the happier and the best and a comfortable life. So for a country, there is a requirement of rules to be formulated, and once these rules are formed in the country, they can either return or else can take them oral rules. So ours is a written document. It helps us to demarcate or understand what we should do and what are the things that we must follow. Now there are two statements which we need to understand very well, known as them, which are very critical to understand or which are very important for our nation. Like when we talk about a situation which has taken place in Nepal, which was during the time where the country was being under the responsibility of a monarchic system. It was in the year 1990. There were a severe revolt or a massive revolt in Nepal, and finally they adopted a new constitution, and it ran up to 12 years in Nepal. But in 2002, there was a rise of individual group of people who were being the Maoist, or the group of people who take the self-declaration of rules in Nepal and ruled by a, and apart from them, even there was a responsible minister of that place who was being considered as a king, known as the Gnanendra, a nominal head of the government, started to take the power into his hand with the assistance of army, and finally he was being declared himself as the head of the Nepal in 2002. But in 2005, a historical step was taken by the local people or the group of Maoists who were self-declared responsible, powerful people of that particular place, who actually fight for the country by staying out of the country, helping the people, and by using violent methods. They were the type of people who fight for the equality and not forming any political group or an organization. Finally, they formed the alliance in 2005 and fought together against the king dictatorship or else the monarchic system or the monarchic type of attitude of the king. By 2006, the king tried many new methods to stop these people who were against him. So, as you all know, when the people tries to suppress the king's rule, obviously the king will be very attentive and very serious to control the people and get back his power. In the same way, here he too tried too many ways to control the people. He gave he even tried to give some concessions and facilities for the people where they can agree for the situation, but people were not at all ready for any of them to accept from the king. They were with a strong decision to get the government based on democracy. They were ready to fight for anything they want to change in the form of the government. They declared the kingship to come to an end. Finally, a situation has come where the people were not at all ready and they were making so many revolts, aggressive actions, hartals, or many such against actions towards the king. It was the willing of the people to get the democratic form of government. When the choice of the people will be reflected, but not the goals of king to be achieved. And finally, in 2000, the king agreed and for the democratic form of government, which was being existed, and the king gave up his kingship. So now, when there is a change in the form of government, there must be a change in the constitution too. So when the king power has been completely removed from a place or from a country, it is a rule that we need to make a serious action on every aspect for the betterment of the country, where we need to change the complete constitution and make it into a new one again. So new set of rules are to be implemented, where new end of the king has been completely stopped. So now the decisions are taken by the members of the parliament or the people who are responsible and who struggled for getting back of democratic country on behalf of government, who were actually the representatives of the people, where the method of elections are being done and we will be selecting the particular people who will be responsible for the betterment of the country, who are being given the responsibility as the representatives out of people. Now the entire constitution must be changed or transformed. Obviously it is to be done where people are to be given on every aspect, people living conditions are to be changed and new method is to be implemented. So when the change occurs in the structure of the government, there must be a change in the constitution and it must be revised and a new constitution has to be written. It's very common that if anything changes entire, either it may be a game or else a government, it must bring out the complete change in all the rules, in all related rules and regulations based on the systematic way or the living conditions or the culture or tradition, whatever is been followed in that particular country. So in the same way, there is a change in the complete constitution. And finally, the people demanded to remove the old constitution in 2006 and bought the new constitution in 2007. But it was not for long lasting. People were not happy with that. They decided to change the constitution again. And the situation has come where the new elections were being conducted again and a new constitution based on ideals and goals of the people and the democratic structure of the government on 21st September 2015, which was consisted of 37 divisions, 304 articles and 7 annexes. And you know children, this is the 7th constitution adopted by the Nepal government in term of around 67 years of their declaration of an independent nation. So this is what about the Nepal country, how they got their rights and living conditions for the best and the better future in framing the constitution. Out of a king or the monarchic system, they brought out their democratic form of government in their country. Now let us know about the key features of the Indian constitution. Let us talk about democratic form of government. As you all know, according to Abraham Lincoln, democracy is the form of government where people elect the leaders. It is a form of government by the people, of the people, and for the people. These leaders are elected to serve the people. So, here, when people are electing the leaders, once the leader is elected, he has to fix features for which he can work, and most of the time we have a chance to misuse the powers and do favors for their relatives, friends, even the known people or etc., where they go for sort of different bribes or anything. And the other thing in democracy is majority. The rule of the majority is democracy. So when we talk about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he was the father of the Indian Constitution, and his main idea was to promote the scheduled caste and help them to join the government jobs. Again, in 20th century, during Indian national movement, which was started, it led to the formation of the foundation of Free India, where we discussed about equality, liberty, fraternity, and freedom. The Indian Constitution's main idea is to promote and provide justice and provide equal opportunities to each and everyone, and to have equal participation to everyone in everything. That is the main intention of formulating or making this constitution in our country, to provide equal justice to every individual with equal freedom of rights and equal status, with no difference of caste, creed, religion, gender, etc. So that's all from the lesson, children. Hope you enjoyed. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.